Hey everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's fun discussion style video, we are going to be talking about where to source older scroll saw woodworking patterns for scroll saw woodworking. Now you guys know I bring a lot of creative designs for scroll saw woodworking visually to the platform here for you guys to hopefully view and enjoy and see the process of making a project from just lines printed on a piece of paper all the way to the finished design. And I still love scroll saw woodworking. It's still the most therapeutic thing that I do out here in the workshop. But one of the questions I get commonly is, where do you find the pattern from? That's one of the top comments for scroll saw woodworkers, especially over on the forums and the message boards and everything. If you post something, one of the first questions you usually get is, hey, who designed the pattern and where did it come from? And anytime I make a scroll saw project video over here on the platform, I try to give you guys the author of the pattern. That way it can lead you guys in the right direction in case you guys want to go and source the pattern. But what do you do if it is an older scroll saw design? You guys know I like to go through Steve Good's pattern catalog. That is where I'm going to start off in today's video with the Steve Good patterns. He offers thousands upon thousands of free scroll saw woodworking patterns for people, and I use a lot of his designs over here on the channel for you guys to enjoy, because I can directly link you guys right back to his blog post and his pattern catalog. And please keep in mind, I like to sometimes sit with a cup of coffee and just go through the catalog entirely. I'll just pick a tab like toys. If I want to make a toy out here, if I want to do something for the holidays, I'll do something like that, and I'll just click on that tab and I'll go through the entire catalog, and I'll bring patterns to life over here that might have been overlooked in a sense, back when he originally uploaded it. I know if I do a Steve Good pattern, usually the comment will be, hey, is this a newer pattern? Did I miss it? Was it uploaded this week or even this year? And I'll be like, no, I went through the pattern archive and found an older design. scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com is a valuable resource, and we all need to thank Steve Good for all he does for the scroll saw woodworking community. Now I want to get into Scroll Saw Woodworking and Crafts magazines by Fox Chapel Publishing. You guys know I also love using the creative designs featured in these amazing magazines, but occasionally I bring older patterns to life over here on the channel, and you guys will be like, hey, where do we get that? We missed that issue back in the day, or we were not even into scroll saw woodworking at the time of that magazine's release, and how do we go about getting that magazine? Now I have a huge archive of scroll saw woodworking and crafts magazines by Fox Chapel Publishing, going all the way back to when they were originally called Scroll Saw Workshop. You can see the new title here is Scroll Saw Woodworking and Crafts, and then you have Scroll Saw Workshop here, and these are hard to come by in a sense. You can find them occasionally at thrift stores. Sometimes the patterns are missing, but you can get them sometimes off of foxchapelpublishing.com. And one thing I really love about Scroll Saw Woodworking and Crafts magazine and Fox Chapel Publishing in general is they offer these beautiful archival CDs that I am about to show you, because one Christmas I wanted to bring this beautiful nativity scene to life, and I had the magazine, but I had somehow misplaced the pattern pull-out section. I had the magazine, I had the article, I had the author, so I reached out to Fox Chapel Publishing and I'm like, hey, is there any way, I've got the magazine, can you guys email me the pattern if that would be cool? Hey, I'd have been happy to pay for it, because I really wanted to make this over, and bring it to life. And we did in a featured, Christmas scroll saw project video, and it's made out of exotic and hardwoods, and I really love how miniature it is. It can easily freestand on a shelf, desk, or countertop. Fox Chapel Publishing got back to me and said, hey, that magazine is now discontinued, but what we have is the amazing archival CDs packed with the magazines themselves in PDF format. They have the actual magazines themselves in PDF format, and then the full pattern pull-out sections in PDF format. And they kindly sent me these archival CDs, and there's 5 of them now. I don't know if any more has been released, but this goes all the way back to issue 1 of Scroll Saw Woodworking and Crafts magazine, all the way up to where they quit making these, and they have the older magazines on them in full PDF format, to where you can just quickly print them out on your computer or somewhere that prints out photocopies or something for you guys. And one thing I love about the PDF formats is, if you like to read in your leisure and you want to go back and read the old articles, you can click and drag the PDF format onto a tablet or laptop and read it at your leisure. Excuse me, got a little tongue-tied there. But very great resources to have available at foxchapelpublishing.com. And these, I'm sure, are packed with thousands and thousands of patterns. There's over, I believe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's issues 1 through 12. And then they go all the way up to volume 5, I believe. Yes, 5 CDs here. So magazines 1 through 60 are featured in these discs here on PDF format, and all of the patterns for them. And I know Scroll Saw Woodworking and Crafts magazine will occasionally release a best of Scroll Saw Woodworking and Crafts, you know, that compiles what they feel has been the best of the best patterns. And these are great issues to have, but always remember, if you pick up an older one, to make sure that the full-size pattern pull-out section is included with it. And then, of course, Fox Chapel Publishing also offers the amazing book library. Here is one, The Ultimate Book of Scroll Saw Patterns. This one here was by Misters Wayne and Jacob Fowler, over 200 designs, and we've brought some scroll saw projects to life visually in the past over here on the platform. And it is packed with not only beginner, but intermediate and advanced scroll saw patterns. So it doesn't matter where you are on your scroll saw woodworking journey, you can jump right in to one of these great books that Fox Chapel Publishing offers, and you can get right to scrolling dependent on your skill level of just getting a scroll saw and getting it unboxed and set up, or if you're a seasoned scroll sawer like myself. So really cool. And as you can see, it's packed with some beautiful designs. And most of the times, again, if you're new to scroll saw woodworking, most of the time the books will start with an intro to scroll saw woodworking, how best to attach the pattern, blade selection, sanding, finishing, clear coating, start to finish. So very good resources to have. Also available at foxchapelpublishing.com or at Klingspor Woodworking Shop. Klingspor Woodworking Shop always has a nice little library area. They usually have a rocker. They usually have a coffee maker there, so they have the books as well, so that's really cool. Now I want to talk about mail order catalogs before I get into the final set of magazines. I used to get scroll saw patterns. This is way before it was common to download patterns or get them, once you purchase them online, directly emailed to you. Mail order catalogs, and here is one from way back in 2004. I really miss this catalog here, but it's called Scroller Ltd. I guess that's limited. The Unique Scroll Saw Patterns and Suppliers, Yearbook 2004, so it really goes back a ways. Found this one cleaning, but as you can see here, we found this one cleaning, but as you can see, it's packed with beautiful scroll saw patterns. And again, I used to order from these back in the day, and they were great resources to have. And I'm glad I got this one kicking around the workshop to show people, you know, hey, look at how long scroll saw woodworking has been around. I mean, it's been around for years and years and years and years, but a lot of people do not see a scroll saw as a relevant tool. And I feel that is one of my goals over here on the channel, is to keep the scroll saw a relative tool out in a garage or workshop, now that CNCs and laser engravers are becoming more and more affordable for people to be able to pick up. And here is the newest mail order catalog I got in the mail. I just recently ordered a new supply of sharp tooth scroll saw blades. That is the blades that I like to use, the number 5 Ultra reverse tooth blades, and this is the Winfield collection. Now, of course, you do not have to do the mail order form in here. You can go directly online now in the age we live in and pick up the patterns, pick up your supplies. I believe there's options to where once you buy the pattern, if you shop online, it can be sent directly to your email, so that's really cool. But again, they are the suppliers of the sharp tooth scroll saw blades that I love to use over here on the platform. But of course, I have used other scroll saw blades in the past, and the Pegasus scroll saw blades are just as good as these sharp tooth ones. But again, I like the Shark Pirate, deals with the beach and everything, but that is the blades that I like to use. So really neat. And now I want to talk about the old discontinued Creative Woodworking and Crafts magazines. Remember, we found a bunch of these cleaning up earlier in the spring, doing some spring cleaning, and I was so thankful to be able to find these and once again have access to them. I always used to pick them up back in my teens when I was just getting into scroll saw woodworking and everything, and they have some beautiful patterns in them. Again, in that video we done earlier in the spring, we kind of went through all of them, and what happened was some of these did not have the pattern pull-out section in them, and I was aware of that because back in the day, before I really got interested in the article and the thought process behind the design, I would just see like you know, potentially see like, hey, this little cat design here, I'd pick up the magazine, pull the pattern pull-out section out, put the magazine away, and just bring the patterns out to the workshop and not even worry about the magazine, if that makes any sense. I know that was a roundabout way of doing it, but now I'm thankful to have the actual magazines themselves. And as I showed you back in the spring, I do have this clear plastic tote here packed full of patterns, and I'm still going through the process of matching up all of the pattern pull-out sections that I have to the magazines themselves. And that's not only for creative woodworking and crafts, but that's also for the older scroll saw woodworking and crafts magazines that I showed you earlier. But we did bring a beautiful tropical whale migration scene to life in a featured summertime scroll saw project video, and a lot of you guys wanted to know where the pattern came from. And again, it's from the old Discontinued creative woodworking and crafts magazines. I don't know if this is the actual issue that one came out of. And again, unfortunately, they are discontinued, and I'm sad to say that. They were great resources to have, just like scroll saw woodworking and crafts magazines. But as you can see, this one here is January 2005, so this one here individually is just 20 years old. And as you can see here, I do have the full-size pattern pull-out section in it, but it says full-size pattern section number 2, if you can see it there on screen under the magazine's logo. So there's another part of the patterns for this magazine that I do not know where they're at. You know, once we continue cleaning everything and going through old papers, I hope to stumble upon more of the patterns, because again, these are great magazines to have, and they focused more on the intarsia method for scroll saw woodworking, and they also featured some pyrography patterns. They also featured some carving patterns, some small wood turning projects. So it was not only catered to scroll saw woodworking, but it was indeed creative woodworks and crafts. Now, the best way I can tell you guys and lead you guys hopefully in the right direction is go to eBay. I know everyone knows what eBay is. I've shopped on eBay. My family has shopped on eBay and picked stuff up, not only just for reading, but collectors stuff, you know, like the Hot Wheels collectors, the Swiss Army knives, the model trains. I've got a model train set off of eBay. But just type in Creative Woodworking and Crafts magazines, and I did this about a week ago, and several of them came up, even some of them that I'm missing in the archive that I have here out in the workshop. But please make sure, if you go to Creative Woodworking and Crafts magazines over on eBay and you look for them and want to pick one up, just make sure and double check and even contact the seller to make sure the full-size pattern pull-out section is included. I know with some of these magazines, especially going back to scroll saw woodworking and crafts, they sometimes have a lot of their patterns featured in the pages of the magazine to where you can just photocopy right out of the magazine. But Scroll Saw Woodworking and Crafts magazine also features the full-size pattern pull-out section as well. That's why I love those magazines. All the magazines I've showed you here, because there's no guesswork on how big or how small to make a scroll saw design. It is automatically loaded to the size you need, and you just need to photocopy it out in your garage or workshop on your scanner, your printer, or take it to a photocopy place and get it copied. And again, this was just a small discussion style video, hopefully to help you guys, if you are new to scroll saw woodworking, be able to find some beautiful and creative designs. Of course, 9 times out of 10, if someone is just getting into scroll saw woodworking and crafts and wants to make some scroll saw projects, go to Steve Good's pattern catalog. Again, he is a huge part of the scroll saw woodworking community, and we cannot thank him enough for everything he does for scroll saw woodworking. And just like me, he is helping to keep the scroll saw a relevant tool going forward. Now, I know there's also options to digitize a lot of the patterns to take them over to laser engravers or CNC cutters or things like that, and that's always options, because one thing I always try to bring to light over here on the channel is scroll saw patterns are so versatile. We're going to go back to this right here before we close the video. Again, I love layered scroll saw patterns, but I told you guys in that video, if you just wanted a small little desktop Christmas frame, you could of course just use the base or the backer board. If you just wanted a nice nativity scene with Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus, you could of course just cut that layer out. Or you could take that pattern and enlarge it and cut it out with a jigsaw out of a full sheet of plywood and put a nice little light on it for a beautiful piece of yard decor. So I always encourage you guys to think outside of the box when it comes to scroll saw woodworking patterns and designs. But hopefully along the way, you guys have found this video informative. Hopefully you learned something new. If there is a general pattern you are searching for out there, please let me know down in the comments. I'd be curious to hear about it because I know there is millions of patterns out there. Also, now that I think about it, there is scrollsawvillage.com. It is free to join. I am a member of that site. I do post on their forum occasionally. There's so many forums and message boards and Facebook groups out there. It's hard to keep track of them all. The Scroll Saw Village is free to join. Again, I am a member, and they also have a vast resource of scroll saw patterns and designs, and a lot of those are more intricate than the designs I bring to life over here on the platform. So just be aware of that. But hopefully in some way, shape, or form in today's video, I led you guys in the right direction, and hopefully you guys picked up, as always, a tip, trick, or tidbit along the way. But that's going to about wrap up this discussion style video. Again, I hope you learned something, and if you're new to the channel, hopefully you'll click that subscribe button and follow me across all my social media feeds under the Artisan Pirate name. As always, links to contact me as well as all my social media feeds will always be linked down in the description box below these videos. That's about all for this one, and remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you guys. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.